Chris, just kind of seeing Julius find his groove there. Just
he's coming alive, and the other day he set the tone with his playmaking, and I thought he did a really good job with that for the most part tonight early on, just trying to get others involved, and then when he had a matchup he was really aggressive and played with a ton of force, and they didn't really have a lot of answers for that. So
how do you help him get on track when things aren't going well for him in particular?
Just conversation, just chatting. We had a couple good chats in the last week and all. I think that just everything that swirls around this time of the year, whether it be All-Star nominations, I know he was disappointed that he wasn't named the All-Star. I think he took this game quite personally in that regard. I think, of course, all the trade chatter affects every one of these guys. Just had to kind of shake it off. And, Julius is a guy who plays with his heart on his sleeve. And, he was, kind of not himself recently. And, we just need him. He's so important for us in so many ways. We just need him to be, come back to the pack, if you will. So
we talked about Ayo quite a bit since he got here, but just what has the general pace injection been like for you guys? Not only himself, but he was even looking for like hit-aheads when they were available and just things that not a lot of guys always do here.
They play so fast in Chicago. Like hit-aheads is a big part of what they do. They lead the league in hit-aheads. So, it was something that we need. And I like he just plays clean. Everything's clean. It's simple. If it's there, he makes it. If it's not there, he keeps it. He trusts that he's gonna make the next play. He does't panic with the ball in his hands. He's made a number of late clock plays, whether it be for himself or for others. He's just been fun to watch. So
Rudy drew 5 fouls in the third quarter. It seemed like Jaden and Ayo in particular were feeding him quite a bit. Just like how impactful is it when Rudy just is able to get involved in the offense?
Yeah, it takes our offense to another level when we're able to find him. And, he made his free throws tonight, which was good to see. Guys, they keep feeding him the ball, keep finding him. And he did a really good job playing strong down there and staying on balance, taking a hit.
Have you seen and noticed that early chemistry between Ayo and Rudy? It seems like he, really finding him. And what does that do in terms of maybe the lineups that you think about putting Ayo out there with?
Yeah, I just think like the more I watch Ayo play, I'm comfortable putting out there with any lineup. Even the lineup, the non-Rudy lineup, just gives us another great switchable defender. And but with Rudy, what I really liked is he not only connected with Rudy, but he kind of served it to him on a platter. They weren't all lobs, but he just kind of put it to him in a place where it was easy for him to handle, and that led to the conversion or the on-balance catch to the foul.
When you played this Portland team on opening night, their ball pressure was problematic for you guys. In this one, you guys dominate the turnover battle. How much have you felt like you guys have improved with handling pressure?
Well, I think we did a good job of tonight of just of anyone bringing the ball up and kind of initiating the offense. Jaden was really good in it. Kind of where we went away from their pressure, trying to take it on full court. They do a really good job of extending pressure. When we played them in game one, we're a little out of sorts with that because we had made the late decision to put Dante in the lineup that left a lot of handling on Ant's hands. We used TJ a lot in that game, if you remember, to get to the heart of the defense too. So we're just way more comfortable facing that situation, and also just kind of flowing into things regardless of who's initiating. Yeah.
What are you going to emphasize most? What's the most important thing for you to emphasize as you guys head into the season?
I think we just got to tighten up our defense. We got to be a little bit more consistent with our low man presence, our rim presence. Particularly when Rudy's not in the game, of course. I think that's one thing. And our rotations out of that, it's just gotten a bit rusty sometimes. The league is tricky because you have to play a little differently every night sometimes with the different teams, 5-out teams, 4 round one teams, and so it can kind of like affect some of the basics that you've been doing because you go from game plan to game plan. So
you guys have struggled at times against players who really play with a lot of force at the rim. Really limited Avdia tonight, though.
Yeah.
What was it that you were doing well there?
Well, I think we didn't give him a runway. He didn't have a chance to gain speed and just come down and hit us first. I thought we did a good job of like kind of containing him, nudging him in the directions that we wanted him to go, and then being there and to absorb the contact, really, and using our length and not fouling. I mean, he draws a ton of fouls. I don't know how many he had tonight. He went to the line 5 times tonight, but last time he went 10. So
certainly been up and down of late. What are the positive? It's been up and down of late. What are the positives in your mind of finishing here right before the break on a little bit of an upswing?
Yeah, I think it's this is way more the team that we know we need to be and who we are and who we can be. It's all about consistency. So nothing else matters right now. Shots, minutes, role, acceptance, all that stuff. You're not changing what you're coming out 25, 26 games. You're not going to greatly affect your average. Nothing like this is going to happen. So we've got to settle in, and winning has to be first and foremost all the time, rather than anything else. And that might be different from night to night. And now that we're a little bit deeper, we're really excited about that.
Chris, with your 34th win and headed into the break, do you feel like this team has a set identity?
Well, I mean, everyone has an identity, good, bad, or indifferent, right? So I think we just have to get our consistency, and our consistency is is more of like what we need the last 2 games, and then we'll have more of an identity. But we know who we need to be, and sometimes we forget. So.
Julian's had a couple stints now, albeit at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Anything that's kind of surprised you or kind of been a positive that you've been able to take from those stints?
Yeah, I mean, I watch these minutes closely when you're trying to learn about a guy. Or first of all, I think he'd be a really good defender. He skinnies up. He's really hard to screen. He's really long. I think offensively, still kind of figuring out like what he does best, but he has a skill set that like we really don't have. He's got super athletic, pretty long, ton of bounce. We got Jaden who's like that, but we don't have a lot of other long wing players. So I'm really intrigued by him. So.